Hello. I think we are live. Hopefully the audio is coming through.
Starting the stream.
Yeah. I want to say like at least a couple of the numbers in the stream are the people that are currently in the call. But hey, it'd be like that sometimes. Also, hello everybody. Welcome back to Dark Souls, Dirge of Drangleic. We have been having a rather inconsistent schedule. I do apologize for that. But IRL is what it is. But we're back, and today we have a more chill session, I would say, because today will be the session where the party finally arrives at the Drang Capital. But before we get there, a couple of shoutouts as usual as we begin. Once again, shout outs to Larian Studios for providing the combat music that we use for the game. Shout out to Sound Phenomenon for providing the background music that we use for ambience. Well, shout outs to From Software because this campaign literally wouldn't exist without them. But also, most of all, shout outs to my favorite players of all time here, sitting at this virtual table with me.
Damn, all of the players that like you're running for that's paying you is like really getting the short end of the stick.
We give you money,
what can
you
I
bitch.
say? What can I say? I'm a two-timer. I say this to everybody.
You say that to all the girls.
Yeah, I say this to all the.
We lost you for a moment. No.
But and though you can't see them in the list of players that we have right here. Our mod is here with us today. Shout outs to our wonderful mod as well here. Also one of my favorite players in a different table. Favorite play in general, playing on a different player on a different table. My bad. With that being said,
and to you for creating this amazing campaign we can play in.
Thank you, but I think that's enough shoutouts for today. As usual, how about we get started with
Shout out
a
to
recap?
women, just in general.
Shout out to what? Huh?
Shout out to women, just in general.
Sure.
Okay, let's get back to the point.
Well, as usual, we get started with a recap of what happened last time. Whoever can make a sufficient enough one of those, will grant the DM inspiration too. Who wants to take up the mantle? I know we did it off screen, but just in case.
I do need the inspiration.
Yeah,
So,
you know what happens. Do your thing.
all right. Well, then go ahead, Moraine.
Alright, last time we started off where we buried the bodies and Atlas kindly gave them a sending off. We started going on to the road, and when nightfall, we all got around camps. We got to know each other more, know Bernhard more. Signis tries to pull off cool stunts, sadly fails, and Ace shows how it's done with their pistol tricks. Then
Ocelots are proud creatures.
Then we performed a bit
you so much.
Vanguard.
Made the reference.
You made the reference.
No, you specifically said revolt
we
Ocelot.
let fucking
It's business.
Mariah fucking
Just let Moraine
finish.
finish. Go ahead, Moraine.
Then we performed some for Bernhard, ended all with Les, and started moving on to the road, where we caught Signis's cache. We dug it up, divided out between ourselves, and decided to move on. Then, on the travels, we had a really cute stargazing date between Atlas and Valencia, which were amazing. Then we moved on further, where we got to a toll point by Buccaneers, which weren't legally taking people's tolls. we told them that we were with a dragon rider and that they're in big troubles. After a lot of convincing, they decided to... Well, we decided to confiscate their monies. And then we moved on. That's where we ended.
Yep, exactly. I think that's a sufficient enough recap. I think that's very comprehensive. So go ahead and add the inspiration for the time being. And also, yes, one more thing to note that we briefly touch upon. But one of the landmarks that you passed by when you were hitting the road was like you said, the Shrine of Winter. Which I make note of this because it's important from a cultural standpoint, as it's the representative of the friendly relationship between Drangleic and Lois. That landmark usually marks that you're getting very close to the to the capital itself. But yes,
not the knight from Lois forgetting about the landmark.
I just make note of it because I think it's a pretty cool thing to note. But with that being said, we pick up right as we left off, as this would be the fourth day of travel after your encounter with the Falconers. If you haven't already, just make sure to mark down all of your resources, that have been replenished over the course of this long rest. With that being said, by the time you guys continue journeying your way through these roads of Drangleic, as I specified before, anything else of significance would happen on the road. At the very least, not anything that you would consider like a random encounter per se. The King's Road, as it's called, the road all the way to the capital city of Drang, is notably flanked on both sides by various rocky formations such as hills, inclines, and other mountainous terrain that serves as both a geographical landmark, I guess, for the land of Drangleic, but also as a geographical border of sorts that limits the certain parts of the territory, as it were. During your journey, this again the fourth day of travel, it seems that the further you go, the less damp the atmosphere feels. The nearby, distance that you have with the Great Aqueduct is now further being increased the more you move, leaving behind the sort of like damp air that is generated by the massive superstructure that connects the capital to other segments of Drangleic. You will notice that eventually you make it all the way to what seems to be this segment where the pathway seems to go into a mountain of sorts. This large sort of like tunnel that arcs and has been hollowed out from the mountain in front of you. Notably, you will notice that there is indeed architecture that indicates that it has been entirely a man-made carving, shall we say, of the mountain. This slick stonework that is kind of dark gray in places, with these white pillars flanking the sides, indicative of the same architecture that is permeated throughout the city of the capital city of Drangleic. You notice that you are not alone upon arriving at this particular checkpoint, as off to the side of this sort of like archway, effectively an archway that is kind of built into the mountain, you see this elevated sort of like platform made out of various similar sort of like slick gray stonework and a set of steps that leads roughly around 15 feet above the floor. A voice can be heard, two voices actually, can be heard from this particular segment, as you see an individual donning notably not the regular royal infantry outfit nor the royal soldier outfit, but rather the Royal Swordsman outfit from the rank and file of Drangleic's army. This individual, there's two of them, but only one of them begins to kind of like immediately speak up. Turns to look at you, and from the segment up above will say, "Hail! You approach the territory of the Drang Capital. State your business."
Atlas will like. I was just gonna say like Atlas will kind of like stand at attention and like kind of like a 45-degree face in a way that kind of indicates like they are Valencia's bodyguard, and to kind of assure indicate that this is the leader of this group.
Valencia will salute or whatever you're supposed to do, and what's it? She would say something along the lines of we bring important news from Fort Cardinal.
You say that, and the Royal Swordsman can, looks at the other one next to him. They comment something to each other you can't really hear immediately. But when they turn back to you, one of them speaks up and says, "Seems like a lot of those have been happening recently. What news do you bring?"
Okay, out of character, I don't think this is something that an ordinary foot soldier should be aware of. So,
There's
Valencia
trouble. There's trouble near the border.
There's
trouble near the border, I guess.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Gatia? Go ahead.
I think Valencia would say something along the lines that this is news for a commander.
Okay.
Some of higher rank.
The Royal Swordsmen kind of look at each other, and one of them kind of says, "Is that all your business in the capital?"
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Basically ask if that's the entire reason why you're going to the capital, basically.
We could also, out of character, we could also just mention...
You both talk at the
out
same
of
time.
character, we could also just mention the fact of...
Yeah, you both talk at the same time. I didn't understand what you said. Go ahead.
Valencia will let the rest of the party state the business.
Okay.
Yeah. Out of character, I was gonna say, I think we could just mention that we also came here for standard trade and exploring the royal capital. So not every one of us would have been there anyway, so also, yeah, we also just wanted to visit, but we also have good news, so double reasons.
I mean, would you say that in character, or would Rock take the initiative and say that?
That's more just me proposing out of character. I don't know, because Rock's not the most social character. He's not got.
I mean,
great
well, in
charisma.
that case, I turn to the rest of the. In that case, I turn to the party with a gun in hand, and will say who is going to say anything.
A freaking party member who also has a gun in hand.
Well, no, that's a DM with a gun in hand. So go.
Well,
Say shit.
Friggin', we also came to visit the capital and get some more supplies for traveling on the roads.
Is your hair on fire?
Yes, my hair's on fire. He's just deadpan. She is tired of this.
This is one of my favorite running gags, by the way. You hear the other soldier, the other Royal Swordsman, speaks up and says, "Pyromancy isn't forbidden in the capital. Just make sure to watch the flames."
Yes,
This is just
my
like, in
flames
the
will be
background,
under
stifling laughter.
control.
You state, yes, my friend, my flames will be under control, and the other guard kind of, again, they both kind of communicate with one another in a hushed whisper you can't really hear from where you currently are. And the other one kind of walks up and says, "Would you mind if we do an inspection of your goods, just in case that you're not carrying anything that shouldn't be allowed in the capital?"
What sort of things aren't allowed in the capital?
Would Scourgeborn know that?
I mean, I think Valencia and Shilver would know that. I mean, anything that is considered heretical for once, so like, you know, anything that is like hex related, anything that has to do with the undead, you know, things that are generally considered like bad omens, as it were. I don't think they would immediately recognize that you're carrying like guns or bombs for that matter. Well, they probably would recognize the bombs, but they probably won't recognize the firearms. But you do know that while it is not, you know, like forbidden for an average traveler to carry weapons into Drangleic, you do have to make note of what type of weapons those are, so that, you know, people know that you're carrying them.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is it illegal? Ace kind of whispers over to Valencia, and she'll be like, hey, Val, should we tell him about, the, golem in my bag? Because if they start turning over my stuff, and that thing pops out, I don't want it falling on somebody's foot.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Is that like illegal? Is that like illegal? Because technically not smuggling it, and technically we turned in Dennis for a bounty, so...
Wait, out of character, what golem are we talking about?
Bard is referring to
That turtle shell dude.
Yeah, it's referring to the ironclad soldier, a construct that
Oh, I see.
Dennis was traveling with, that presumably was created in Alchem.
Yeah.
We should definitely declare that.
Okay. Here. Excuse me, gents. Before you start searching us, I gotta let you know about one thing. We had collected a bounty on a feller back near Fort Cardinal by the name of Armor Dennis, who was from Alkin, and we had confiscated his golem. It's currently in my bag right now. It's beaten up to high heaven. So just be on the careful side if you want to turn over if you went to inspect my stuff.
You see as one of the soldiers kind of like leans over the, I guess the effective like watchtower basically, and will say, "A golem is in your bag. I take it this is one of them so-called bottomless bags or boxes."
Yes.
You see as the soldier, seems to once again kind of gesture to the other guy, and by this point, one of the soldiers kind of like begins to climb down the watchtower, or walk down, I guess, the stairs of the watchtower, until like he's basically like right there in front of your little caravan. You will see as the royal swordsman kind of seems to just kind of approach you guys, and you can tell they didn't expect some of you to be as tall as you are up close, because when the royal swordsman walks up, at least the second one, they seem to kind of like take a moment, stop, see you guys a little bit more intently, or at least you think. It's kind of difficult to tell the eyes with these types of helmets. But you know, the individual seems to kind of stop for like a couple of seconds, looks you guys up and down, and then continues walking.
Like I'm just
Go ahead.
imagining like specifically with like Atlas, 8 foot tall fucking like practically golem looking fucking thing, but also like, you know, close enough, like probably like does look like it could be armor. Just some fucked up fucking thing. Like, you know, Ace looks, you know, obviously very stands out a lot. But like, what the fuck is Atlas?
Like the soldier does take some moment to like stop in front of all of you guys individually. Now they have like a closer look at you guys. Looks at Atlas, like looks you up and down. Says, very interesting type of armor there. And then looks. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, you were gonna say something?
Just gonna say, like, you know, Atlas will just say,
It is appreciated. The make of such armor is not accessible to those of this planetary sphere at this moment, but I am glad that you are able to.
This is a
admire the
custom job for
craftsmanship.
this was a custom job for our individual here.
They're quite eccentric.
I see. Well, at any rate, looks at Atlas up and down, doesn't like pat you down or anything, like just goes on, moves on to the next person, sees you, shield bearer, you know, stops for like a couple of seconds to look at you. He, you know, seems to, you believe just based on body language, like he, there's probably not like a lot of beast folk that come in through, you know, the gates of Drangleic. And so like he kind of like stops for like a second, but then continues, doesn't really say anything to you, just kind of stares at the shield, like a fucking big ass shield that you have for like a second, and then
Which
moves.
one?
Yeah, exactly, the big
one
shields.
Ace made or the ivory orc one?
Both, yeah. Stares for a couple of seconds. And says, well, actually, would you say you carry like any emblem from Elium Lois on your gear?
Well, depends. Would you know if it helps or restricts them?
I mean,
If
you
he shows.
know they have like Elium Lois and Drangleic have like relatively good relationship. You know, they're not an they were never at conflict, unlike say Drangleic and Alkin.
Yeah. Then Shilbear would show his emblem as well, yes.
Okay. Kind of looks over and says, "You're a long way from home, but we appreciate you an envoy of the Ivory King."
Yes. Yes, I've been on external training,
Ah, I see.
learning
The point
more
of
about the
research.
lands around.
Oh, sorry, I was reading the comments. You know, say that, and he nods along. Stops when he sees Valencia, now that they're a little bit more close. And you can tell just by body language that he maybe seems to recognize something about you. You know, looks at your ears, looks at your tail for like a second, and but doesn't really address you specifically in any particular way. Just moves on, doesn't make too much note of Signis, because he just looks like a guy. Ben Hart is right there behind you guys. He does look at his sword, but like doesn't comment on it. Ace, well, he already made the comment on you, so he doesn't seem to you know, stare too much anymore. Rock, he looks at you as well. Tries to pinpoint where like your vestments that look oddly similar to Signis as well. And you know, because I imagine like, you know, similar like clothing style, I guess, from both of your worlds. Doesn't
Victorian
immediate-
style clothing, yeah.
Would you say that Rock has his bombs like in display?
Not really. He kind of keeps them. I'm pretty sure I sent a picture of what sort of stats he has. When he's not like in combat, most of them are either like under his sort of quote ook for like ready access, or they're in his case. He doesn't really have them ready, but if they ask to examine in his bags, because he is alchemist stuff, he would showcase what he's been asked to.
All right.
You would
well,
really
in
hide
that
them for any
case-
particular reason.
In that case, like he does kind of like stare at you. I mean, I get the way you describe Doc. Like it seems like he's what's it called? Yeah, the way you just described Rock before, it sounds like he constantly carries around like the medic bag basically with him. And you know,
Let me see. I'm pretty sure I sent it in message at one point.
all right. Well, if he does have like the physician's bag like with him, I guess this soldier would make note of looking at you and says, "You're a doctor." Oh, Rab, you there?
Yes.
Oh.
And Alchemist.
Oh, okay. Thinks for like a couple of seconds and says, "I see." All right. And at this point he moves on behind you guys to the wagon where the retainers are at, and just goes through the motions. Asks them to uncover the canvas. Seems to flip through any of the. I don't remember you guys saying like you are carrying anything in particular in the wagon, as far as I recall.
No.
Unless anybody wants to
Just
remind me.
supplies.
Yeah, no. Seems to go. Yeah.
I think the only thing that Signis would try to hide is like specifically the masks that he was wearing
Okay.
when he
well,
fucking robbed,
if you're trying to hide anything in particular, and this was for everybody in that matter, I need a sleight of hand check from those who are trying to hide something in particular.
I rolled
You
shit,
said-
didn't I?
Yeah. Rock's not high.
Oh fuck, I did.
You said explosives were somewhat okayish.
They are okayish in the sense that armed personnel are allowed to use them. You shouldn't theoretically run into like an average civilian, using those.
What if we a bounty hunter?
I mean,
Ex-person.
then you should state that when meeting the guards. So.
Well, what? Well,
Yeah.
no, Ace did because we were collected. She did mention they collected a bounty.
Yeah, you did. I'll give you that. You
on
did
her.
say like you collected a bounty. Yeah. Okay. In that case, I will say, with that in mind, like he may see that you're using like some weaponry that he probably doesn't immediately recognize, like your thunder blaster and stuff. He doesn't seem to question it. He just assumes that's some weird like gizmo, or like a very weird looking crossbow rather. And he does notice where are the rocks hidden, Atlas? or the masks hidden for that matter, Signis.
They're just in his fucking coat alongside literally everything else. I think he would like try and hide it behind another mask.
Are those
It's just like a situation.
are those masks?
What?
You some form of a performer?
Indeed. He's specifically just making sure that the ones that he used to rob Seldora aren't like easily visible.
I guess you look flamboyant enough to pass by a performer. That's not him saying it. That's me out of character saying it. I guess you look
I
for.
mean, he's obviously gay, so yes.
That's
Thank
not
you,
what I said.
Jericho.
Don't put words in my mouth there, Jericho. So I guess he doesn't seem to question it too much. As for Atlas, were you actually trying to hide the rocks with a sleight of hand, or was that like a jokey roll?
No, it's
well,
joke roll.
Okay. In that case, I guess with that in mind, like he just goes through. They just go through like the motions of the search. Don't find anything particularly like egregious. Usually it's your bounty hunters, so notices your weapon, so he doesn't really question that. Kind of walks back to the watchtower and seems to comment something to the other guy before they both kind of. One of them speaks up again and says, Seems like you're clear. Be on your way, and welcome to the capital.
Yeah, imagine, like, of the group in terms of equipment, Rock is purely the most questionable, purely because his equipment's the only one they'd actually fucking recognize because fire bombs exist, but
Yeah, I
Rock
mean,
has declared he
Ace
is an
also had
alchemist, and a lot of
bombs.
his kit does...
yeah, like, I mean, they don't question it because
Big
you
handful of full cherry ones.
Yeah, they don't question it because Ace sort of implied that you guys are bounty hunters in an original statement.
Yeah.
But they will make a comment.
Declared he is an alchemist.
Yeah, that's true. I will say they will still make a comment of like, keep an eye on those weapons. We better not hear that you guys are up to no good. And with that, they just kind of let you pass. And you're able to cross the sort of like man-made, carved-out tunnel through the mountain. It goes on for like, I want to say probably like 100 or so feet before it opens up into the other side of the mountain where you see the capital ahead of you. Now, I want to note something. Because FromSoft made my life harder by designing the world the way they design it, it's up to me to more or less make the world make sense in this redesign of the campaign. So, the way that I picture the entrance to the Drang Capital is that the pathway splits into 3 right away after you enter the barriers of the the capital city. Which I will also describe one more thing that you will see on the road, but before that, let me just get to the general description of the city itself. The way that I imagine it is that the pathway splits into 3 segments. 2 of them lead off to the sides, left and right, which guide you to various different districts of the city after you go down a small inclination. Because remember, you guys are kind of in a mountainous region, so this pathway is a little bit on the higher end, shall we say. The third pathway, the one that goes straight through the middle of the city and all the way to the center of it, after going up another significant elevation, takes you all the way to Drangleic Castle. But that is how I imagine the city's looking like. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I couldn't decide what art I wanted to use for Drangleic Capital. I had a couple, so I'm just gonna show you all of them. Here's the first one that I have.
Respectable.
Thank you, Wang Yin in ArtStation. For some reason, the image is not loading on my end. There we go. Here's how I imagine.
There it goes. Yeah,
Thank you. What's it called? Here's how I imagine a rough general look of how Drangleic could look like. As portrayed as a proper city. Because obviously in the game we never see it like that. But this is one of the arts that I have for the Drang Capital, and my stream is lagging a little bit. There we go. This is one of the arts that I have for the Drang Capital, which is pretty cool. I think I like this one a lot. You guys will. To kind of roughly describe what you guys would be actually looking at, in character. The architecture of Drangleic seems to be about what you would expect based on the initial appearance of the, structures that were laid out throughout the road to it. This very sturdy, sort of like looking brickwork makes up most of the housing in the region. With this sort of like slate roofs, sort of like greenish, bluish tiles adorning like the rooftops of the city. Some buildings are notably way bigger or taller than others, indicating perhaps an estate of some form of nobility, or an important institution, or something to that effect. That is what the city as a whole looks like. This sort of like very sturdy sort of like buildings spread out evenly across various multiple streets that are below the elevated position that you see down the main road, the middle road, which leads to Drangleic Castle. Drangleic Castle itself looks like built over from Arcane, kind of. This middle road that leads all the way to Drangleic Castle allows you to see the imposing borderline mega structure that makes up the central building that is Drangleic Castle. Made out of a similar sort of like dark gray slick brickwork, adorned in multiple segments by this borderline sort of like ivory, if not marble, like pillars that make up like the lines, corners, of the building. Gives the impression that it's more akin to a Gothic sort of like church architecture of sorts, rather than a castle in the traditional sense. Noting, of course, the taller spires that you can see that make up some of the bit longer and taller towers of the castle itself. Let me switch musics to the actual music of the Drang Capital, because I have it right here. Here we go. And as so this is one of the images that I have. I will show the other one in time, but this is what you initially see when you enter the capital. That plus one more thing that I said that you would also see. You see, as if they were like living gates to the capital, two massive figures, mechanically speaking, of huge size. You see these two individuals that at first you thought were automatons until you take a closer look at who they are, donning this sort of like brass armor that matches the size of these incredible giants, as well as wielding gigantic great shields and this halberds of sorts that they are currently wielding in one hand, despite them also being equally massive as they are. You see what seems to be this elephant-like beast folk that seem to act as, like I said, effectively like living gates on top, in front of you guys as you approach the fork in the road. I will show this guys right here.
Oh, hey, I remember these guys.
This Mastodon soldiers that, Shield Bearer and Valencia would recognize as them, that being kind of like the way that they're called, Mastodon soldiers, will kind of stand on the middle of the road, staring down at you. At least you believe they're looking at you. It's difficult to tell where their eyes are. And you will see that they don't say any word to you. They merely seem to stand at attention in the fork of the road, mainly pointed towards the actual main road to the to Drangleic Castle. At this point, I will note that Benhart will kind of like put like a hand on his beard, looks around, looks at the the rest of the city, looks at the castle, and he goes, "Well, stories really do not do this place justice. It truly looks like a kingdom built by a great lord."
What's it called? Atlas does kind of say,
Indeed. Though I am not particularly well versed in the creation of civilizations, I must admit that this place seems rather prosperous, much more than the desolate worlds that I traveled towards.
Hey, I'd assume that this place is like impressive even by, Yarnum standards.
For sure.
Yeah.
Dare I say, is just as big, if not bigger than Yarnum.
Yeah.
And from the image, what we can see, at least one thing it definitely has over it, a lot more greenery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite being surrounded on all sides by mountains, there's a hefty amount of green pastures around the I guess more flat terrain next to the capital.
Interesting.
So I ask, once again, what are you guys gonna do upon approaching the capital via the fork in the road?
Yeah,
what's it called?
friggin'.
Before, everyone decides that, Atlas will kind of not really turn to the party, but just kind of address the party and just says,
It is this prosperity and beauty that makes it all the more important that we not allow this world to fall to calamity. Not by this festering curse or the giants coming at the world's doorstep. But also, let this show you the importance of tracking down and eliminating the existential threat that is the swarm.
Valencia, I feel, being back in the capital, I think she would be in very high spirits after everything they've been through, so she would offer to show the party, like, around all the, like, major landmarks, I guess.
Okay. What's it called? Well, what does everybody say to that?
Super would say, well, first things first, I think we should go to warn the people higher up. Then we can go sightseeing.
Right, that does sound like a good idea.
Alright. In that case, what will y'all do?
I presume
Just
take
learn
the
the
road
Alchemist
that
and
leads to
head for
the...
Both at the same time,
to
one at a
the-
time, yeah.
I presume take the road that leads to the castle, right?
I mean, if I would say, like I said, the main road. It's not like blocked per se, but it is being flanked by two of these Mastodon soldiers. As their great shields alone are enough to probably serve as a gate if they wanted to block the path for you. If you guys do begin to move towards the main road that leads, it's like a beeline to Drangleic Castle, then you will be able to do so. Yes, they are way bigger than the Loxodon. Like I said, they're mechanically speaking like a huge size creature. They are at least like 12 feet tall, or like 14, I think, feet tall probably. They are huge. These guys.
Let's see. Medium caps at 8 foot. Large is 16 foot. Huge caps at 13 foot. Or not 32 foot. I meant.
Okay, I mean, well,
32.
they're probably
Around.
taller than 15.
Max height.
So yeah. The idea though is that if you try to go down the middle road, the Mastodon soldiers kind of like do a, the classic sort of like soldier, I'm gonna like smack my weapon on the ground to signal that someone's passing type of thing. However, because of their size and the size of their weapons, it kind of rumbles the ground whenever they do so. There's like a slight shaking that you all feel whenever they like kind of thump their halberds onto the ground. You see, however, they don't really block passageway for you guys. Beyond the Mastodon soldiers, you see another contingent, I guess, of royal swordsmen that seem to be at the actual gates of the castle. They stop you roughly around the halfway point of the pathway, because at some point you can't really approach via the wagon or the horses, for that matter, anymore. It's just like after a segment, it just turns into like a set of stairs, basically, and a bridge that leads you up to the castle itself. You will see that the soldiers once again stop you. They go through the motions, ask you who you are, what are you doing here, who are you to approach the castle like this, which, well, I imagine you guys would give them a similar spiel that you did to the ones back at the border. Unless anybody wants to add anything to that now that you're properly now at the capital.
Does it look like there's anybody like higher rank than the swordsmen amongst these guys?
Not at the moment, but then again, you haven't entered the castle properly. These guys are stationed like right outside the gates.
We got some of the dragon riders going down the street.
Not down the street, but you would have noticed when you were initially going into the capital that you did saw a handful of drakes flying like around the castle, actually. By a handful, I mean like two. You saw like two drakes flying around the castle before they like broke off into like a flying formation and seemingly went off somewhere else, perhaps doing like their patrols.
Because of that, friggin' AC them in the distance. Mm-mm.
I will say,
He ain't digging it.
if you do give the spiel to the soldiers, one of them will ask you guys. Is there, you claim to have information for the king. Is there any way you can corroborate this via official information? A missive, perhaps?
Well, question I guess of that is, would Captain Drummond have given us an official letter?
I think he
would've.
would have.
He did. He actually did give you and Signis specifically an official letter for this, Valencia, during the war meeting that you guys, or strategy meeting that you guys had in Fort Carmel.
Yeah.
I don't remember
I think,
who. I don't remember who he gave it to. So you guys can decide that, I guess.
I think Signis probably would have been, because he was like way more active in the actual like process. Like Valencia was there just overseeing it, kind of. She was helping here and there, but like
She has
in
no idea
terms of,
about
like,
actual strategy, so
yeah.
in that case, Valencia will signal for you to show them the letter.
Yeah. Signis, being the dramatic fuck he is, steps forward and holds up the scroll and does the thing from fucking Mulan, where he drops one end of the scroll and fucking rolls open.
So just fumbles the opening of the scroll. It kind of glides down to the ground as the soldiers kind of look at it. They notice the seal of the Royal Army of Drangleic on it. So as far as they can tell, it seems official when they ask you to pick it back up and hand it to them. You...
No, he's holding one end of the scroll. He
Oh,
lets the
okay. I
other
thought you
roll
dropped
open.
it. Okay, my bad.
He drops one end so that it rolls open.
Okay. My bad. They look at it for a couple of seconds. Everything seems legit, and one of the soldiers kind of looks over at a different soldier and says, "Give word. Open the gates. Let Chancellor Welliger know about this." As he says this, the two massive, these tall sort of dark wood doors, seem to open to Drangleic Castle. You actually notice they don't open on their own. These two statues that are flanking the door, that look like humanoid figures without any heads on them. They're just this really flat, featureless, sort of figures with a torso, arms, and legs. You see as these statues seem to move on their own for a couple of seconds. They turn a sort of wheel-like mechanism on the sides of the gate, and the two gigantic doors open, revealing the interior of Drangleic Castle. You're instructed to leave your wagon off to the side, so that, because you can't really go past it beyond a certain point. Same as it's instructed to have your horses, remain behind off to the side. They will be taken care of by the stable hands in Drangleic Castle. I would say at this point, the retainers will look at you, Valencia, and at the very least Fern will say, "Should we accompany you inside the premises, Lady Valencia?"
Valencia would say yes, and I think she would specifically have Fern by her side for this.
Cersei kind of adjusts, her clothing, making sure everything's looking fine. Gwenold, you know him. He was never really one for formalities, so he kind of just
I think she would ask I think she would ask Gwenold if he wants to stay behind.
Oh, I've never really gotten a chance to properly meet the king and stuff. I think this is important. Shouldn't I be here too?
You can come along then.
all right, so just hold on. He kind of like begins to run his fingers through his hair to quote unquote comb his hair, and again.
I'm fucking. Does he like spit on his fucking hand? Like,
Sure, yeah, he's using his hand, crosses his fingers through his hair. You can't see the expression of the soldiers around, but they probably are looking at him a very particular way. And I will say, Ben Hart on his end, he has been kind of quiet this whole time after his initial like awe of the capital, but he does look at you guys at this point and says, I'm not particularly like part of your little crew here. Should I be taken along like this?
It's not every opportunity that you get to see the castle of Drangleic.
Suppose it is not. I guess I'll do what I best do and just remain quiet. And
he will just kind of be in silence because he doesn't want to embarrass you guys.
Yeah.
So
Shilper would add, I would have liked it if you would accompany us. Even though we haven't known each other for too long, you've proven yourself quite capable.
Benhard will kind of like look at you and just go,
that's mighty appreciate. I appreciate that of you, lad. I will make sure not to say anything undue for this particular meeting.
Much obliged.
Kind of nods at you and kind of clears his throat, straightening himself up. I did note that his attire looks like, for lack of a better term, like very well traveled. So you're not sure if there's anything he can really do last minute to like clean up how it looks like at the moment.
But
anybody got prestidigitation?
I will say, but for the time, I mean, if you don't, then you don't. Sucks to suck. But for the time being,
I got thaumaturgy.
I don't think that has
If
the
I
same
can do
effect.
anything.
but
It only works for Ace. That's about it.
but I guess with that, you guys will be allowed entry into the halls of Drangleic Castle. In front of you, you see what seems to be a grandiose main hall that seems to, whose ceiling seems to stretch on for tens and tens of feet. The walls appear to be this very polished, this very polished marble-like material of sorts. Alongside this sort of like checkered pattern floors that are interspliced with this intentional sort of like black cracks across it. It's difficult to explain the specific like texture that the floor has, but I hope that kind of gets it across. There is this massive sort of like darkened pillars that seem to be made out of a similar sort of like dark gray stonework as the outside architecture is. Above you, a long, great chandelier hangs from above via a equally large chain that you can't really tell exactly where it's supposed to be hooked on. You see in front of you this multiple pathways, as it were, seem to separate, going from a set of two large set of stairs that arc in this sort of like semicircle pattern into an upwards platform. Behind these steps, still along the floor that you're currently walking, you do see a couple of doorways in like the semi-darkened hallways that the light of the sun doesn't quite reach through the windows. But here is how the interior of Castle Drangleic looks like.
I swear, if it's just...
Thank you,
No.
Christopher Rival in our station, for this art.
I was gonna laugh if it was the same art.
I'm not gonna use the screenshot of the
used-
fucking game because it just looks so bare bones. I love Dark Souls 2, but the environment design leaves a lot to be desired. You see, as from the, so you're being escorted by this contingent of Royal Swordsmen.
One of them goes up ahead from you guys as the gates have opened and seems to go up the stairs, very quickly approaching someone, a silhouette that you see coming up from the upper platform. You see an individual begins to walk up as he's being whispered something by the soldier in question. You see a tall, a slender individual with this dark clothing and a sort of like fur-rimmed cloak around his shoulders. I will say, in general terms, like an outfit very reminiscent of like Jon Snow's from Game of Thrones. You see this individual, human, seemingly, with this medium length, sort of like ashen, like brownish, blondish hair, kind of. Seems to walk up from the, from the upper platform after being whispered whatever he was whispered from the other soldier. Valencia, you would know this individual as Chancellor Welliger. He is an individual from the land of Mira that was personally invited into King Vendrick's court. The individual in question, seems to walk up from the platform and still standing above you guys, like roughly, like a little bit over 10 feet. He crosses his arms, stares down at you guys, and says, "Who are you, and by whose permission do you stand before me? State your names." It's not every day we have someone come in with a royal seal. The matters must be truly important.
The name's Valencia Draco de Lille. We have urgent news from Captain Drummond of Fort Cardinal.
He thinks for a second and says, "I understand. The news have been delivered to us already in a particular shape. I trust you may have other information to corroborate what was delivered to us."
We have...
Yes.
We have as well notes regarding the strategy is that we plan to use to help defend the front line.
We also have directly engaged with one of their scouts. We have first-hand experience.
I see. The report delivered by Captain Drummond's men did mention something along those lines. In that case, it's your aim to deliver this news directly to His Majesty.
That is the case.
Ideally so.
Sorry for the dogs in the background. Chancellor Welliger crosses his arms for a second, and he goes, "In that case..."
Ah, yes, the months of Drangleic are loud.
In that case, His Majesty and the Queen are both currently present in the throne room. If there is a chance to talk to them, though I hate to interrupt them, this news does seem quite urgent. And he seems to kind of gesture for you guys to walk up the stairs and, go up to the platform where he's standing. Why is he hot? I mean, I don't know, Elena, that is, it's just how it is. He doesn't seem to really, wait for you guys. He turns around almost immediately after kind of giving you the gesture and begins to walk down the platform and approach what seems to be another set of like doubles or like wooden doors, this time shaped roughly like a semi circles or like pattern. Also, Marina didn't comment on this, but yes, you through those descriptions, I think you're making a good job at making Silver sound more noble and regal. Welliger, he moves over down the set of doors. I assume you guys follow him.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys go up the stairs, you notice as you begin to your ascent that just off to the sides of the stairs, there are actually two more individuals that you didn't see right away, almost as if they are effectively just in very specific tactical angles for whenever somebody walks into this room. You see two individuals wearing one on each side of the stair, wearing armor that you guys would at this point, I think, recognize as being that of the Royal Knights. Some of the higher echelons of the Drangleic military. These individuals that look for all intents and purposes with a similar outfit as I believe I called him Lawrence, Royal Knight Lawrence, during the weapon demonstration or combat demonstration.
Oh shit! Yeah, it was Lawrence. Yeah.
Yeah. These two seem to be flanking like the sides of the stairs, like I'd say, in like these very tactical positions that you guys didn't even see at first, despite the rather bulky looking armor. Eventually, you will walk over like with Welliger all the way to the set of double doors. And before we continue, I'm just gonna show you guys Welliger's own like journal entry, because he's gonna be an important character, I will say. There we go. In that case, you see as he's the one that kind of walks up in front of you guys first. He's the one that walks to the set of double doors, and he's the one that pushes them open. In front of you opens what is the Castle Drangleic's throne room, effectively. This really large, wide room. Again, those sort of like same polished, checkered pattern, sort of like floors, as well as those massive sort of like darkened stone pillars. This time around, however, there is in the ceiling this sort of like, I forget the name of this in English. It's like an oval-shaped ceiling almost, like a cupola, I think that's what it's called. You see like this sort of like oval-shaped ceiling plastered with this massive sort of like fresco depicting, in like a very like Leonardo da Vinci, like so was it Da Vinci or was it who was the one that like painted the chapel, Sistine Chapel?
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo, my bad. Like a very Michelangelo.
It's called
like a very Michelangelo
it's called a
style.
vaulted ceiling.
A vaulted ceiling, thank you. It's a very Michelangelo sort of like style, like fresco painting, depicting like past events of Drangleic's history, as well as this a window of sorts all the way at the far end of the throne room. There's kind of like this stained glass window where this like god rays seem to illuminate the room as a whole. When it's huge muscle tendrils, huge arms. Not quite. He's loyal to a single woman. So you will see as like I said, like you're kind of flanked by these sort of like windows that illuminated the room immediately. In front of you, this large carpet that seems to extend out from the start of the room all the way to the very end of it, going up a small platform. Well, I say small in relative terms, probably like 5 feet, of like stairs, or like a little bit above 5 feet of stairs. You, on top of this platform, 2 thrones sit side by side, both of them carved out of this intricate combination of both the carved sort of like dark gray stone, as well as this very detailed engraved wood. That seems to form like the armrests, the back, the actual like backside of the throne, and notably, they are very large, because the 2 monarchs of this nation are very big people. I will move you guys over here. Thank you, Cabal Lance, for providing this art. I know the art only shows 1 throne, but trust me, there's 2. I'm going to describe the 4 figures that you see here, one by one. Well, actually 3. They're not 4 figures, 3 figures. The first one, donning this golden brass combination of armor, standing at a good like 10 feet tall, wielding in one hand a massive great hammer, whose head seems to be vaguely shaped like a bell, as well as this helmet with this sort of like semi-triangular like shape to it. You see the person that you recognize to be the Royal Aegis Belstat. This individual standing regally at attention, a great hammer in hand, as the head of it is aimed downwards to the ground. Sid Kamadin's cheer.
Signis like opens up his coat, sees the fucking mask that looks like his face, looks up, looks down. Oh god.
You see as this figure, completely unmoved as you walk through the room, stares at you from beyond its helmet with eyes that you can feel boring into your very essence. On one of the thrones, you see a individual of equally large size, donning this very regal, elegant, white and gold dress that kind of, covers their entire figure. Woven out of like this sort of like whitish, yellowish, fiber, like cloth-like material. And lined, like I said, with sort of like golden embroidery that covers most of the upper body of this outfit. The woman in question that is wearing this outfit looks down at you with pale features and this golden, this sort of like semi-golden blonde hair tied in a almost like bun-like, like sort of like a shape. You see Queen Nashandra. And on the other throne, a figure that, while looking a little bit more aged than he probably was at the start of his reign, wearing this sort of like darkened armor. Well, not armor really, because it's not really like in a war, I guess, setting, I guess. It's more like a darkened outfit made out of these various layers of like I said, like dark cloth layered with silver embroidery in contrast to the other figure in, on his side. On top of his shoulders lies a cape that is currently draped over the, the side, I guess, of the throne. That is lined with the sort of like fur-like strands that come out from the shoulders. The individual wears a large silver darkened metal crown that is lined with this semi-blue gems encrusted on it. There is the man of the hour. King Vendrick. Wellager opens the doors to this room, the one that leads you first into it. And he seems to have more or less not quite interrupted something, but walked in on what seems to be Vendrick being delivered a different set of missives. As a courier wearing like very common looking clothing seems to very quickly bow in front of Queen Ashan and Queen Vendrick, and before making his way immediately out of the room. Wellager walks right around the same moment that he is like taking his leave, and walks up down the carpet and effectively takes a deep takes a knee basically in front of Queen Ashandra and Queen Vendrick, and says, "My royal monarchs, I bring honored guests here to deliver a message, similar one to the one we received days ago from Fort Cardinal. They claim to have first-hand experience of the events that took place there." Yeah, I'll have. I forgot to put Benhart's token there. My bad. How do you guys react upon seeing all of this? Also, I do apologize if my descriptions are very long-winded. I'm trying to get the image across as best as I possibly can.
No, I understand. It's perfectly fine. Signis is more so focused on this motherfucker, rather than...
Like I said, after Welgar takes his entry, Shuba would follow at an appropriate distance, and then takes one knee and just bows his head down,
What about everybody
waiting
else?
until he can call to
As I
follow.
mentioned,
Valencia would do the
as I
same, but she would
mentioned,
cast a glance at everyone else to make sure that they're also going to bend the knee.
Like, Ace would have asked Valencia earlier, like after, oh yeah. So how important is this Welliger guy? Okay, so what are we supposed to do when we go see him? Cause like, I don't know, I never met a king before.
Valencia would give you like, I think she would give you like a 10-minute spiel about like bend this knee at this exact time or walk this close to the king. She would explain everything.
That sounds stupid. And what if my leg falls asleep? Or what if my Double Down starts digging in my thigh?
If like Valencia and Ace are like in a corner before like all of this happens, I think Valencia would like hold Ace by like the shoulders and just say like, please, this is important to me.
All right, Scales. If my leg starts falling asleep, I'm blaming it on you.
Fine.
What's it called? Atlas, when they all like walk in, Atlas does not kneel. They do a sort of like salute. In fact, they do the salute that they've seen the Drangleic soldiers and Valencia use before, that they've observed. But they are very much standing upright.
I think Valencia would like try to like get Atlas's attention and just get him to understand the social cue of everyone is bending the knee.
What's it called?
Signis would eat his pride and actually bend the knee.
Hold on, hold on, Signis, go ahead, Atlas.
As everyone, is there and everyone's bending the knee, Atlas will kind of like speak up, not to Valencia, addressing King Vendrick, saying,
Oh no.
My apologies, exalted majesty. It is with great honor that we make your audience. But I hope that you will afford my standing.
A couple of
serve another.
Go ahead.
For I serve another majesty. It is by my people's Article 16 that we must show respect to authority but swear no fealty. This is Her Majesty's will.
A couple of reactions are done in regards to this. Firstly, you see as the head of the Golden Knight next to Vendrick slowly turns in a swivel like over to you. The second,
Just imagining the stone grinding noise.
kind of like he's almost like a metal grinding, like looks like. You also see as Welliger seems to like want to look over his shoulder, but he's too busy actually bowing in front of Vendrick to actually like look back to admonish you. But two other reactions seem to take place that kind of maybe surprise you. Queen Nashandra seems to kind of like raise an eyebrow, almost like at you, less so in like a baffled state, more so like a, okay, that's new, seemingly like an expression. And Vendrick, his expression is completely serious and does not change, at you, at least not at first. Before he also seems to kind of like narrow his eyes a little bit, but less in like an aggressive manner, more so kind of just trying to seize you up, I guess, at a glance. Also, I think someone's having like some background noise going.
Yeah, people are talking in the background. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Just letting y'all know. You see as Welger does seem to kind of like resist the urge to speak up because he's too busy doing what he's doing. You see as the one that speaks first. It's not Vendrick, but Nashandra, and she says, "It has been quite some time since we've had someone not show due reverence in front of us. Pray tell, from which land do you hail from? And to what lord do you have you sworn loyalty that makes it so that you will not show due reverence to ourselves?"
Atlas, does kind of say,
I mean no ill will or disrespect. I am from... I believe this land is not unfamiliar to travelers from faraway lands that do not exactly align with the geography of your world. I am from one such land.
They kind of like all stare at you for a moment there. Vendrick himself, again, silent for the most part. He merely seems to silently acknowledge your words, while he then turns his eyes towards the rest of you guys. And seems to address everybody, like as a whole. Out of curiosity, only Atlas has been the one standing, right? Everybody else took a knee?
Signis took a knee, but he didn't bow his head.
You both talk at the same time or at a time?
I was gonna say, cause I got to say my. If Rock would be kneeling, he wouldn't be fully bowing his head. And as I mentioned, whenever he's in the noble building, he's a lot more uncomfortable than he usually is for the party, because they've been around. They've noticed he's not the most comfortable being around nobility for reasons he has described to the party. Why he not super fond of nobility.
Ace is trying, albeit she probably took the second longest to oh shoot, this is what we're supposed to do it, then drop on a knee. But now she's in this uncomfortable spot of she's got an itch she's trying not to scratch, and she's trying not, thinking to herself, please don't have this guy string us up, please don't have this guy string us up.
All right. Vendrick stares down at all of you, and then, will speak up finally, and say, I didn't expect to hear that response, but I acknowledge and respect someone standing up for what they believe in. And he looks over at the rest of you guys. Not at you, at Welliger, actually. And he seems to look at Welliger and say, Chancellor, it is not often that you barge into this room without a good reason. As you say, you seem to have a great amount of news in hand on behalf of these esteemed guests. Although, I trust even your memory isn't as flawed as to forget something. And, Welger kind of nods along and, says, I have not, Your Highness. And Vendrick stands up from his throne. He's, like I said, he's big, probably around 12 feet tall. He is he gigantic? Yes, no, he's 12 feet tall. he looks over at you guys and will kinda say, Valencia Draco de Lille, you stand in front of my court once again. The Chancellor saw fit to allow you into the castle grounds, and I trust his judgment. And while the initial report did claim that someone matching your description was involved in the first contact with these giants, I find it that you possess an incredible amount of will to stand before me.
Thank you, my king.
Bellstat kind of like thumps the ground with the great hammer, and seems to kind of without even saying something, that seems to be like his way of asking permission to speak, my king. And Vendrick just kind of looks at Bellstat and kind of like nods at him, and says, "Your crimes are far too great. Yet you seem to be in the path of redemption by acting in the defense of this nation. If you may indulge my curiosity, what brought about this change of heart?"
I wish to prove my innocence. At all costs.
At this point, Queen Nashandra speaks up and says, "And it seems you have recruited plenty to your cause. I take it these ones in front of us are your entourage?" I forgot to put the tokens
Yes.
of the retainers. They are also shitting their pants right now. They...
Imagine them in the back corner just shivering.
They're all the
like
way at the
old
back
jag.
with Benhart, and they're all kind of like... they're all kind of like taking deep breaths, trying to regulate their breathing. They're holding it there. They're holding it for the time being.
When he says, like, you recruited these people, I presume they're your entourage, Shilper will twitch a bit, but tries to, how do you say that?
Keep his composure.
Yes, keep his composure as best as he can.
Say with Ace, like, the frig you mean, entourage?
And for those really close, you would hear him whisper like, "Oh, calm down, not here."
Nashandra continues speaking, and she did ask the question of like, "Hey, I take it you recruit this to your entourage." Do you respond, Valencia?
I think Valencia will word it in the way of like, these are like travelers I've met. These are like other outsiders that I've met in my travels, something like that.
I like to imagine that something like that was also something to Valencia. So, no, I'm sorry. Chandra will say, or continue rather speaking, and she will say, "I see." She turns to look at the rest of you guys and says, "Quite a group of various individuals from, I assume, various different backgrounds. I do not know from which land do all of you hail from, or if you are already citizens of this kingdom. But in here, we do show a degree of proper reverence. May you please uncover your faces." She looks at AR and Signis.
Okay. Did we mention that Atlas is a golem or
You
no?
have said
To the
nothing
dark.
to that regard. So as far as they are aware, Atlas is somebody in a suit of armor.
Oh no.
And declaring to
They're
be a
called-
golem in the middle of a royal court is a statement.
Yeah, honestly, that would be
Yeah.
more sus than just saying like, oh yeah, due to religious reasons. No.
Yeah, like Atlas does say.
Article 4 of Lamoth military regulations state that leaving the cockpit is strictly prohibited. Article 10 of Lamoth military regulations state that self-identification and individuality is permitted between units in times of war, but you are otherwise the Knights of Lamoth.
Nashandra doesn't respond verbally at first, but does kind of like once again kind of arc an eyebrow a little bit at all of these regulations, all of this the things that Atlas said. Velstadt tongues his hammer once again on the ground and says, "The Queen has issued a command. You will follow it."
Signis is gritting his teeth a little.
Ace is trying so friggin' hard, not thinking what they might do to her because of these jokers who don't want to take off helmets and masks because
I thankfully have prepared for this eventuality.
well, if you cast this guy's self in the middle of a courtroom, I don't know if they
Yeah.
have true sight or like royal mages because unless it's a hat of disguise, they gonna hear you say abracadabra.
Yeah.
And
What's it called? Atlas.
I think that Valencia wants to like. I'm not sure if Valencia is allowed to speak. Is she? What's like the court etiquette here?
You usually, I mean, kind of look and well, don't look immediately, but like you address the royalty, say, "May I speak my piece?" That's usually how I imagine royal court goes. Like I wouldn't be able to tell you right away because I'm not super familiar with intricacies of like medieval courtship, not courtship, fucking court etiquette. My bad. Fern on his end does remove the mask when prompted. Actually, I keep forgetting that he has a mask. You see his features, which I don't believe we've described before in their entirety. How would you say Fern looks like under the face mask, Katya?
I'm trying to remember what like the bird people look like exactly, but
Well, Corbins can look a variety of ways. They can look more crow-like in nature, but I believe we said that Fern is more of the humanoid in type of Corvians.
they are essentially like a humanoid, but they have like one-off feathers like growing out of like random parts of the body, and they have like a bit of a section that looks like it's supposed to be a beak, but it's not. They almost look like a really scuffed chimera.
So a bit of a malformed bird person.
Very much so. There's a reason why they wear the mask.
I will say, Fern kind of takes off the mask, but doesn't really say anything. You can tell that he's kind of just trying to bear with it, I guess, for the time being. Also, what were you gonna say, Signis?
Signis would take off his mask, but he would say, "I apologize for interrupting, but they, for reasons of culture, my companion likely will not remove their helmet. Think of it like a part of their religion.
What Valencia wants to say is Valencia will turn to AR and which regulation is the one that prohibits self-identification in times of war?
Article 10.
Valencia will restate Article 10 to them and say Drangleic is at war with the giants. I believe that nullifies Article 10.
Atlas kind of looks down at you, Valencia, and just kind of... You obviously, their face has never been readable, but you can kind of see that they are kind of shaken a bit by the fact that, you're right. Atlas's head kind of slowly tilts down, kind of as a acknowledgement, like a nod, and kind of says, seems to take a breath and then say,
On another matter, then, if you will excuse me. Exiting the strategic assault mech is potentially hazardous to the longevity of this unit's lifespan. In other words, the helmet that I wear is a form of life support.
Vendrick kind of looks at you, and his expression has not really changed for most of the conversation. He just kind of stares at you and says, "You mean to say, should you remove your armor, you will die?"
Should I remove my armor, it would shave quite a few years off of my life. I would not die instantly, but there are many missions that this unit must stay alive for, including the oncoming storm of
Must be
times of war.
some powerful sorcery keeping you alive in that case.
In ways that you might not be able to comprehend. You are very, very correct.
Velstad looks at you and seems to note that you effectively said, I'm gonna put this in layman's terms so you to understand. Velstad kind of stares at you, AR, and doesn't immediately say something, but you can tell the grip on his great hammer is tightening.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to him, it's you just said my king's stupid, but in Atlas terms, it's I told the warrior king, who is not a mage, that yes, you're correct that I am kept alive by effectively strong magic.
Well, that's not even it. Atlas is just thinking we operate on a different magic system.
We operate on a different magic system. It's crazy.
Vendrick, at this point, seems to have been kind of just eyeing all of you guys in general. Silently gauging your abilities without even having to see you in combat, seemingly. Because I remember this, basically. And he, at some point, begins to speak up. He speaks up once again and says, "I am satisfied enough with that answer. You may all rise." And he, seems to sit back down on the throne. What's it called? Queen Ashandra looks over at him, gives him a bit of a smile, "Well done, dear," and
Yeah. Oh, that's so cute.
and they both turn to look back at you guys. And Welger also stands up at this, but he does immediately put does the sort of butler-esque hand over the chest, slight bow type of motion, before he steps to the side. And effectively gives you guys the floor, so to speak.
Can I make a dex save
Oh,
to see
heads.
if my friggin' leg fell asleep? But
I think that would be a con
I think
save. Yeah,
Constitution.
yeah, that would be a
okay,
con save. I would
God
say.
save. 13.
I'd say that's enough. Like realistically, you didn't stay on the ground for too long. It's just we took a bit of time with descriptions and stuff like that. So, I'll say that's good enough. So
No,
everybody-
I think somebody would have been like Welliger would have been doing the sort of thing in like medieval movies, like introducing such and such, all lordly titles.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't know who
With
the fuck you are.
Vendrick
He only knows Valencia out of all of you.
Okay, so Ace is probably the most informal person whatsoever. Once he says, "You may rise," Ace just grabs her knees like, "Oh, thank goodness, because Your Majesty, because my leg was falling asleep something fierce, and I don't know how long I would have been stuck like there."
Valencia is holding the bridge of her nose. I'm holding the bridge of my nose right now.
Yeah, you
I
dealing with Ace.
I will note, you likely couldn't see him too well from where you're kind of like standing or kneeling, or were kneeling or standing. But Benhart himself, he kind of just went through the motions, but by the time he stands up, you do hear like a slight pop as he does so.
Oh no!
Like I say, like I described before, he is looking like he's getting up there in years a little bit. So like you do hear like a little pop, like as he comes up. He kind of looks at you like nobody heard that, right? And he basically just like does his knee off basically, and just stands there at attention, a helmet to the side because he took it off.
He's got her hat in her hands, because we in formalish place, so she's at least got some manners.
Vendrick
Signis just has like fucking palm to face.
Vendrick looks at you guys and says, "You may speak and explain the situation as plainly as possible."
Well, Valencia is gonna try to take control of the situation, and I'm assuming she was the first to speak, and okay, fuck, I don't actually know what to say.
The pressure is on.
Yeah, balls in your core. Ace ain't gonna because you said, "Hey, this is important to me." Ace is letting you do all the talking because she's scared that she's gonna get strung up.
Okay,
And
fuck,
she-
I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, go ahead, Gabby, yeah.
Okay, so Valencia will begin speaking. Giant scouts were spotted on the outskirts of Fort Cardinal. We believe that may have been a scouting party in preparation for an invasion of the mainland.
Queen Nashandra speaks up and she says, "We've been told something like that in the initial delivery, so much as we have also seen the body of said giant. It was an informative experience. The body, however, needed to be removed from the premises of the castle." She
Out
kind
of characters,
Go
any...
yeah.
I was just gonna ask, like, out of characters, but anything else to say?
Well, you did claim to have first-hand experience that you can only, in theory, you're the only ones that can really give.
Yeah. we have out of character combat abilities like turning invisible. That we only, even with our best scouts, could notice them basically when we stood on them and they started moving. The fact that they have that thunder blast, they can toss big ass boulders just right at you. Strong, durable.
And the fact that we killed him.
The fact that we killed him, and the fact that we went along the coastline, making sure that certain places got more fortified, just in case. That's why we were later
That's why we were
than the
late.
first party.
Yeah. I think the main thing is information specifically about their capabilities outside of what they would have learned from the bodies, as well as the battle plans that were drafted up just to try and fortify the positions in a way that what's it called? To fortify the positions in a way that would be most effective against the threat. That the battle plans that Signis basically drafted up, basically, so that Valencia is probably going to present. Yeah.
Okay. So
like he would probably like pass Valencia like the fucking map that he like was sketching on.
So, I ask now to you, Katya, would Valencia pass on all of this information effectively to Vendrick?
Yeah, she would pass on everything in, well, as plainly as she can.
Okay. Is there anything that you would like to personally add?
I don't believe so.
Okay. I will say, in that case, just so that we don't have to go too much in circles, you would be able to relay the information regarding the battle with the giant, the capabilities that it showed, how you took it down, the plans that you drafted up with Captain Drummond, as well as, well, the fact that it took you longer to get here because you needed to secure, like, the shore side, basically, of your... I asked, would you all include the existence of Majula, I imagine?
At this point, we should, considering that, like, the Drangleic military already knows about it, therefore King Vendrick should know about it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
In that case, you mentioned, like, the existence of this, small, like, dilapidated village that you're kind of, like, getting, up and running again. That is effectively unprotected from any type of approach from the giants if they come from the sea. I guess in that case, as you begin to relay all of this, they just kind of let you speak for a while. They don't really interrupt you. They don't really, ask you to like stop or whatever. Eventually, as you're kind of like basically at the end of the speech, or the explanation rather, Queen Nashandra will kind of look at you and she will say, while the presence of a scout is indeed something concerning, we cannot truly you cannot truly imagine that this is an indication that they are in any way, shape, or form prepared to face the might of Drangleic. A threat like this, especially one that has been dealt with ages ago, is it truly, you believe, that great of a danger to our kingdom?
Out of character question. Did, from what we know, a scout got away?
As far as you're aware, no.
Alright.
The only giant scout that you're aware of was the one that you killed. But one thing that Queen Nashandra noted that I will remind you guys, yes, ages ago, like almost like centuries ago, or a century ago rather, Vendrick did go with the armies of Drangleic to the land of the giants and fucking, beat them up preemptively, basically. So he has fought giants before, and returned successfully, seemingly. So that's Nashandra's comment seems to be something along the lines of, we've already dealt with this threat before. Do you think they're even that much of a menace, considering the situation?
I think the way Valencia would word it is they would not be a threat if we're prepared.
As you put it that way, Vendrick speaks up and says, "And prepared we are. Our nation is in a moment of prosperity. We have never thrived as much as we have before. And we will continue to do so as the years go on. If the threat of the giants truly is upon us yet again, then we shall do what we must to prepare. And if what you explain is true, and it is as you say, then it seems there are gaps in our vigilance. Places where it appears that we have yet to properly set up a defensive position of our land. I will ensure that those are dealt with."
What would Scourgeborn know of or have heard of from the previous giant war?
You can make me a history check, because you weren't alive back there.
Come on! 18!
Nice.
Very good.
From the stories that maybe spread from Drangleic to other nations, you would have heard that effectively how do I word this? Effectively, this was during a time where King Vendrick was ruling alone, Drangleic. It is only when Queen Nashandra warned him of the threat of the giants to the lands away, that he decided to take up arms, gather his armies, and venture across the sea. Not much is known of the conflict other than it happened, but from the description that accounts were done and books were written, it seems like it was a decisive battle, shall we say. The giants were basically at the ready, when the armies of Drangleic marched, so they basically just met and immediately started throwing hands with each other, basically.
Yeah.
And as far as the stories go, Vendrick himself took to the battlefield that day, struck down the leader of the giants, and eventually forced them into a surrender, and then returned to Drangleic with the armies.
Yeah. And this was all in the nation of the giants, right?
Correct.
Alright. Then Scourgeborn would say, what is the correct wording, by the way? Sir Majesty?
Your Majesty.
Out of character. Your Majesty?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright. Scourgeborn would say, Your Majesty, may I speak freely?
Vendrick kind of looks at you. Out of character. Usually when someone says may I speak freely, it means I'm going to fucking insult you. Vendrick kind of looks at you, raises an eyebrow, and says, "You may."
From what I've understood from the stories that were told about that day, you were warned by the Queen herself about this threat. You accumulated a giant army and fought at their lands. The way how I've seen it now is that they are on the attack. They're here at your doorsteps, trying to do the same to you. And I've seen multiple points where they could get entry. Even if you have the home advantage, the destruction to your lands and to the peace that you seek might be in so much danger. And from what I've seen, the people believe they are just legends to be told. They're surreal. The knights that fought that day, they fell quickly. Even if I did everything in my power to save them, I couldn't save them all. Please do take this as a serious threat, for I wish that this peace may last much longer.
What is your name, Knight of Elium Lois?
I'm Shilbear.
Shieldbearer. He looks at you feel like his presence, basically, his overwhelming presence kind of like begin to effectively draw in on you, as it were. He, not because he's like trying to intimidate you or anything, because now you have his full attention. And he basically says, I take any threat to my nation seriously. Regardless of the size of it, small or large. And I can say firsthand that the giants are indeed a large threat. I do not take this lightly. Though your words, and the words of the messengers before you, I'm not blind to them, I'm not deaf to them, or blind to the evidence before me. Should this conflict come to pass, and the giants decide to attack us, we shall do what is necessary to protect our land. The question is, seeing as you have all saw fit to deliver this message yourselves, to deliver your testimony yourselves, does this mean you wish to join the battle against the giants?
Valencia immediately replies yes.
Shilbear says, although I cannot speak for the others present here, my one wish is to keep the people from harm, be it those from Elium Lois or in countries like Drangleic. If I can serve anyone well to do that, then I'm more than happy to help.
I cannot turn away when the lives of innocents are at stake.
Nashandra stares at the rest of you.
Article 9 of Lamoth Military Regulations. Show no mercy to those undeserving. Article 20 of Lamoth Military Regulations. Fear is not an option in the face of a perpetual enemy. Article 19 of Lamoth Military Regulations. Never stoke the flames of war. Knights were made to end wars, not start new ones. It is of my utmost duty and prerogative that I assist in defending any nation of any form of innocence.
Looks at Rock, Ace.
Okay.
Ben Hart? Question mark?
Looks at Ben Hart. I'll get to Ben Hart in a moment because he has his own opinion on this. Rock nods. Okay. Ace, what about you?
Well, given what an unarmed giant did to the countryside when we were fighting, no, I'd hate to see what ones with weapons would do against good folks, and don't seem right to not help out. Not much of a soldier, but I'm willing to help folks in need.
What is your
Your
passive perception?
Highness.
What is passive perception, Ace?
It's a 10. Like, Ace making sure she says, like, Your Highness, and stuff.
So you don't
Just-
hear this, but everybody with a passive perception of, I'll say like, 13 and above probably, will hear a Velsdat out of the, like mutter, basically underneath his breath, something among the lines of, so roundabout. Basically like reference to Ace. Venhart on his end will kind of like look up at Vendrick and Chandra, and he will say,
My abilities with a weapon are nothing to scoff at, I would say. Sure, I'm willing to join the good fight and all of that. But well, if I may say, Your Majesties, my nation is Yugo. While I'm away from it, my heart remains there. I must prioritize my people, myself. But if it comes down to it, I will lend me sword arm to the good armies of Drangleic whenever the time comes.
One thing. Sorry about that. So, as Venhart says this, you believe you hear bells that once again kind of be like, yeah, it's a roundabout. Kind of made the comment again. And Nashandra looks at the retainers, who they have been silent this whole time. But before anybody either of them can speak up, I was probably thinking the same thing. Before anybody can speak up, Cersei is the one that talks amongst them first. And she says, "Wherever Our Lady goes, we are duty-bound to follow. Even if it means to the fires of war," she says in a very shaky voice. Gwenald kind of looks over at her and doesn't say anything, but you can tell in his expression he's kind of like, I guess we do. And Fern seems to have like this very serious, kind of solemn like expression on his face as he just kind of nods. And as this is done, Vendrick looks over at you guys and will say,
Then it is decided. And as such, should we now count with your assistance during this times of strife, then I believe there may be something that you will be capable of doing before conflict arrives at our doorstep. Nashandra looks over at Vendrick and kind of gives him like a look of like, we sure if you're sure about this. She looks back at you guys and kind of says, "Indeed,
Though we are, as my king says, in a time of peace, I believe it is about time that we start getting ready for war. From now on, if your devotion to the cause is just and true, can we count on you to be, let's say, a extended arm of the land of Drangleic?
Ace would raise up her hand, probably because she's a little bit self-conscious now, because she's blurred so much stuff out, and she's side-eyed Valencia, who's just looked pissed at her.
I feel it'd be less pissed and more so just like, kind of like, I think it would be a kind of expression of like, what else did I
Exasperated?
expect? Yeah.
I just realized I was fucking muted. She's when Queen Nashandra said if we've been at peace but we must prepare for war, I said si vis pacem parabellum.
Did they acknowledge the Ace raise her hand?
You raise your hand.
They ignore it. No, just kidding. You raise your hand. And Nashandra looks at you, Ace, and says, "Yes, you may speak."
When you mentioned being an extended arm for the nation, is this a formal deputizing or anything else in mind?
In a sense, you are not the only people that have approached us to effectively try to come under our employment. We've had a number of mercenaries arrive at our court, only for them to be turned away when we realize that their devotion to the kingdom is merely surface level. Seeing as you have gone through the way of getting involved in not just the makings of a century-long conflict, but also seeing as you have allied yourselves with one of our own who is on a path to redemption, despite your wildly different backgrounds. I see no reason as to why we shouldn't, as to why we should turn you away.
Wilbur would speak up and says, I would be honored to be granted such a... what is the right word for it? Status is not
Duty?
really...
I think duty is like a...
Yeah, duty. But I will kindly remind you both that although my goal will always to be protect the people of any land, my devotion will stay by the Ivory King.
Vendrick speaks up and says, I respect one who holds great loyalty for their monarchs. So are you a knight of the Ivory King's court?
Gilbert looks a bit ashamed. For the first time.
I mean, I want to point out, you've been acting very respectful, very regal, very royal, and stuff like that. So he has, Vendrick is just asking a question, like, are you actually like a knight of the court?
No,
or...
I know, but Gilbert for the first time ever looks ashamed, and he's like, truthfully, I'm just a squire, learning under Let me look up the name real quick because, man, I'm not good with names.
I know his last name was Iverson, but I forget the first name.
Learning under Joyous Everson.
Everson, there we go. Well, if all the Knights of Alium Lois have your degree of sense of responsibility, then I can see why your nation has prospered as much as it has. In this case, Vendrick looks over at Welger and says, Chancellor Welger, may I entrust you to impart unto this group of esteemed guests the matters at hand. And Welger makes like a quick bow to Vendrick and says, of course, my lord. And Vendrick then looks over and says, in that case, guests of Drangleic, you are dismissed. Chancellor Welger will give you more details. And he basically gives you like a gesture of like, you know, be at peace basically. Okay.
Gilbert would say, I will say one last thing. Although I'm just a squire, my knight is highly regarded. If you wish for me to pass on any message to him or the Ivory King, feel free to ask. I'm sure that they agree with me that protecting the people from this big of a threat is important to all.
Vendrick nods, but doesn't respond verbally. He merely gives you like a knowing look.
Yeah. Then Gilbert takes a big bow and leaves.
Right before you guys go, I will say, Queen Nashandra does give you all one more comment. And she will say, I look forward to hearing of your exploits. Pray tell, how may we address your company?
No.
Oh boy!
Spears, daggers at friggin' Valencia. Like, if you say what I think you're gonna say, I'm gonna kick your ass
Here's
when
a
we get
time
outside.
where the DM forces y'all to come up with a party name.
We better not be
Hey.
the Draco Squadron.
So Valencia, despite her failings over the past few sessions, she is going to. What is the like group name that Ace came up with?
God, it's been so long, I can't remember. I'll have to look.
You need to remember this is important. We're in front of the king right now. What do you mean you can't remember?
I have a quick out of character question.
Yeah.
What did you say we all were again? Not outlaws, but
Bounty
that we
hunters,
didn't. No, that we didn't really fit in.
outsiders.
Outsiders.
Misfits, outsiders, take
Yeah.
your pick.
I think it would be appropriate to go with Misfits Knights. You know,
I need
it
to remind
describes our party perfectly.
This is what they're gonna be telling us.
Yeah, I need to remind y'all, you're in front of Queen Nashandra and Queen Vendrick of Drangleic. Also, Yorko, you're muted, I don't know if you
Queen
want to chime in with
Vendrick?
this. Well, Queen Nashandra and King Vendrick, my bad. You're the leaders of arguably the most powerful nation in the continent. So,
Yes.
if this is the name that you guys are going for, this is how not only they are going to know you, but maybe in time the rest of the people of the line are going to know you by.
I found it. Ashenor. Gillis is stupid.
Actually,
Yeah.
Ash and awe.
oh, Ash and Ore.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the name that you're saying to Nashandra?
I think Valencia will say that, but she won't. She will say it Ashenor, as in like one word, not Ash and Ore.
It's It's a space in between. And he's kind of. It's a
No.
space.
I will note down the Welger did pull out like a little notepad basically to like write on with like a pen. And he I say notepad, like a notebook basically. And he is waiting, like he's at the ready when you guys are about to like say the name.
It's a space in between, and
No, Valencia just says Ashenol.
no, you know what it is? It's friggin' Ace's accent that's tripping Valencia up because she's got that southern draw. Cause over here sometimes folks don't pronounce the D in like and.
Welliger seems to
You may
think for
refer
like
to us as Ash and All.
Welliger kind of thinks for a second. He was about to write Ashenol, and but then when Signis, when you guys kind of like begin to kind of say it a little bit more pausely, he thinks for a second and then he just scratches out the name he was writing and then writes the correct one, and he will kind of just put the notebook away basically, and he does give like another bow to Vendrick and Ashandra, and before he leaves. And he does give you like a look of like, all right, you guys are with me. Follow me real quick. And well, unless somebody says anything else, as you've been dismissed from the royal throne room, you will leave said royal throne room. And congratulations, you managed to not get turned to paste by the royal
Get
Aegis.
executed.
Yeah.
Turned to paste by the royal Aegis, I guess.
Velstad was ready to make fucking pancakes.
Like, I want to think too, like, before we leave, Ace asks Valencia, like, are we supposed to bow a curtsy or what have you after this, or they said we're free to leave or what have you? I don't think it.
I'm assuming we do like a little bow as we leave the like room itself.
You can, I will say for Fern, Cersei, Benhart, they instinctively do like one final bow before leaving. Gwynald was about to leave without doing the bow before Cersei kind of pulls him by the like shirt collar and kind of pulls him back. And he's like, oh,
He
right.
comes back into the room.
He's like, oh, all right. He kind of like bows and then leaves.
I have one question out of character. Where is the other one?
Good question. Do you ask anybody?
I mean, while we're
Right behind
walking,
us.
Yeah, while we're walking away, Shuba would ask Welliger where he is. I don't know the exact name out of character.
The Royal Gladius, I mean.
I forgot
Yeah.
that I do have art for like the immediate vicinity of Drangleic Castle, which is this. Thank you from software.
Nice. So, Shuba would ask, where is the Royal Gladius?
He looks back at you and says, The Royal Gladius Reign is currently away on a mission. One that I believe took him to the fringes of the nation of Alken. He won't elaborate on that.
Silence.
He won't elaborate on that unless
You
you
know-
ask him to press him for more details.
No, Shuba respects the boundaries, so he's like, all right. He wouldn't say anything. He just nods.
Does anybody else press for information, I guess?
I mean,
Valencia will just... Valencia will make like an elaborating comment of like... A board of Alken must be serious. And that's all she will say.
I do not know the nature of the mission, but it is not my place to question the king's orders.
Okay, Chancellor Welliger, right?
That is indeed my name.
The So, with us being deputized by the king and queen, does that mean we get like badges? We carry around a fancy seal?
Not
Or
precisely.
what have?
These are extraordinary circumstances, and as such, the process is a little bit unorthodox. What you must know, however, is that from now on you are to carry one of these royal seals of Drangleic. This will identify you as a member of the, shall we say, the arms of the king. And he pulls out what seems to be like this, sort of like bronze pins, basically, that it seems like he only carries around like a handful of these. There's not enough for all of you, but he kind of like shows you guys these pins, and he says something like this, I believe, and he will. He
We're the
will.
CIA. We're the medieval CIA.
Yeah.
He will say, "I will make sure to procure more of these for you. I was not expecting a
I'm
group."
just assuming Shield Bear fucking yoinks the one from the guy's hand.
He says, "I was not expecting a group of your size to be presenting themselves in front of the court this day. As far as I was aware, only a handful of you took part in the actual battle against the giant."
Does the party look at a Moonlight's greatsword guy?
Vangurad does kind of like pull out his collar a little bit, like, well, this is awkward. And he says, right, apologies for that, mate. Let's just say that I'm a new addition.
Just call him mate.
Yes, he did. He did. And Welliger does look at him like, huh? Like, who? He's like, let's just say that I'm a recent addition to this party. We met on the road. Welliger just kind of looks like, right. And he looks back at you guys like, is he serious? Like,
Well, he's been a great help to us. Let's consider him a fellow member of Ashenor.
He certainly has proven his capabilities. And we
Right.
respect him for such.
I see. Well, I suppose in that case I will consider him when requesting more of these to be granted to you. Now, the matters that the king was referring to. I'm afraid that there is some extraneous circumstances throughout the kingdom that, well, I'm only at liberty to share a handful of those. But I will do what I can. And he kind of gestures for you to basically walk and talk. Basically begins to guide you across the halls of the castle, actually. He will look over at you guys, and as he kind of requests for you guys to follow. And just to note, the halls of Castle Drangleic are just as big as the structure itself. These very wide rooms with more often than not like a carpet running down the middle in a similar sort of like red fashion as the one in the throne room. Occasionally flanked on one side by a series of tall windows that, while not all of them are like stained glass as the one in the throne room, some of them are. Depicting anything in particular other than just like, pretty colors effectively. You will see as he seems to be guiding you across the, just stay quiet for now, across the hallways, entering through this sort of like large doorway that seems to be flanked on both sides by this sort of like stone statues of like soldiers holding spears, basically. And as he is guiding you through the halls of Drangleic, of Castle Drangleic, he will continue speaking, and he says, "We've received a series of increasingly strange reports from across the continent. I'm afraid that a couple of these, they may not fall under official jurisdiction of the kingdom. But even so, as the one in charge of foreign affairs, I cannot overlook them. During the whole assignment, I'm being recruited by King Vendrick. Yeah, I imagine she's pretty giddy about this. She, Weller rather will. Oh, actually, I forgot to add Nashandra and Vendrick to the journal. Because and Velstad as well. Those are three very important figures. Give me 1 second while I add them to the journal. Where is Queen Nashandra? Here she is. Give me 1 second. Queen Nashandra. Reminds you whisper one of the returns on the tail still for a second. Oh, that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's Queen Nashandra. She's pretty cool. Who else is here? King Vendrick. Oh, one thing to note that you guys wouldn't know in character, but this one goes for the people who played the previous campaign. Out of character. How long we're going? Like 20 more minutes, I believe, and then we'll be done. Out of character, Queen Nashandra resembles a lot the Dusk of Ulasil.
Oh shoot! So distant relative. That's pretty dope.
Here is King Vendrick. There we go. And last but not least, our boy from like 3 campaigns ago. Where is did I put him in the I put him in the other folder because he's technically not from Drangleic.
The totally not Bloodborne folder.
Velstad, the Royal Aegis. You'll meet the Royal Gladius in time. Alright. With those added to the journal, I continue. Welliger will continue speaking, and he did say like there's matters that have kind of come to our attention that while some of them don't fall under the jurisdiction of Drangleic, as a chief of foreign affairs, like he can't really overlook them. He says we have a number of suspicious reports, shall we say, coming from from settlements from across the nation. Some of them more concerning than others. And some of the reports we have received are not from our nation at all, pointing us to lands that I'm certain the king and the queen would rather leave untouched. And he at some point stops in front of one of these rooms in one of the wings of the castle. In front of this room, there are like these 2 other like royal like soldiers basically standing at attention, and he gives them like a gesture of like we're coming through, and they both kind of open the door, and inside the room that he's just showing you to, there it is also like a high ceiling sort of like room with notably a chimney at the far end wall of this. Not less of a chimney. It is a chimney, but the chimney that it would be used for a forge. You see a number of very different tools, various stands and mannequins that have like these pieces of armor on them, racks with weapons, hanging from them. It's almost as if it's showing you to like the royal forge, as it were, of Castle Drangleic. Everything looks very high quality, actually. This like metallic sheen on dark, like steel-like metal that seems to be, almost like resplendent against the light of the forge that is currently on. Before he continues speaking about like the reports, he does say, right now we're going to visit the royal blacksmith, just in case you need anything to prepare for this. But in layman's terms, shall we say missions that you will be sent on will likely take you beyond the borders of Drangleic. Once you're ready, well, please come meet me. And he steps outside of the room as he looks over his shoulder and says, "He's quite an eccentric fellow, just to let you know." And he, I will say, he doesn't like pat anyone on the shoulder, but he gives the look of like, all right, have a gander at this. And you see coming in from the smoke, or steam rather, of a weapon being quenched in oil. You see a tall figure that seems to be who you believe to be the blacksmith of this castle. A tall, semi-muscular, like beast folk actually. That seems to be, how else do I describe him other than looking like this?
He's a horse.
Buff horse!
You see this beast folk with a horse head. Like a horse adjacent body rather. And
Who seems to be pulling out like this sword quenched from from oil.
his features partially obscured by the like steam rising from it. Before he kind of puts that on the anvil and begins to ding, ding, ding.
I hammer at it with what is this trusty hammer. He will look over and I will say, even you, Valencia, you rarely had a chance to meet this guy. You know he is not originally from Drangleic. He is actually from the same nation as Chancellor Welagarius, which is Mira. But you would know that he's a very proficient blacksmith that works primarily with a type of alloy known as Guy Steel, which,
if you guys recall, Guy Steel is effectively like the equivalent to did we say like mithril?
It was mithril.
Mithril, yes, there we go. He looks over.
No. Broad Steel was mithril.
Yeah, Brandon
Guy Steel was adamantine.
Looks. This is blacksmith Llewellyn, who, upon seeing you guys enter, he kind of raises an eyebrow at you guys and will say, "New arrivals. Well, if Welger brought you here in the first place, that must mean you're someone important." It kind of stops when he sees Valencia and says, "Oh, right. Important people it is, then."
Ace, like, I guess most people might be looking in awe of, like, the weapons and whatnot. Ace, on the other hand, coming in, seeing, like, the steam and smoke clearing, she's looking at all the tools and what the blacksmith has in their workshop, like a kid in a candy store, because like she hasn't been in a really nice blacksmith shop in a good long while, and this looks like some nice quality stuff, and like so. Well, sorry to interrupt your forging. And might I say you have some masterful craftsmanship with a lot of these arms and arms.
You can say the flattery for later, young miss. I didn't send any sparks the way of your hair, did I?
No, it's natural. It's just I don't. Well, one craftsman to another. It's a sight to see how someone keeps their station in very pristine order. I haven't seen smithy, this finds since my old journeyman days.
He nods along and says, I take a lot of pride in my craft. Holdover from my homeland, if you would. But seeing as I was saying, you guys were brought in by Welliger, I take it this means you might be joining the ranks of the knights, or something like this? He seems very business focused.
I'm not sure how much, we're allowed to, disclose, so Valencia will just say something like that.
Okay. He will nod along and say, then not many words are needed, I think. Just tell me what you need. And out of character, you guys can ask for any uncommon magic item you want. And Llewellyn will have it for you. You don't need to decide that right now. You can do it over the week. Just in general. Primarily weapons or armor, I would say, is probably what fits the most. If it is something that you believe you can argue it can be done by a blacksmith, that works too. Obviously that doesn't need to be decided right now, especially because we are very close to end time at the moment. For now, that is just what I'm gonna say that will be what you're getting out of the forge. As Llewellyn, as I said, he primarily works with the equivalent to adamantine in the setting, so you can just ask for adamantine armor, adamantine weapons. And now you may be wondering, Vorti, you're giving us free adamantine armors. That means we're gonna be immune to additional damage from crits. Doesn't that seem a little bit too overpowered for an entire party to have that? And to that I say, this is Dark Souls. Adamantine armor.
Dark Souls.
Adamantine armor is only gonna get you so far.
Yeah.
Is geeking over the cool blacksmith guy. Yeah. But here's what we're gonna do. For the purposes of ending things off in something that you guys can look forward to, besides just your free magic item, effectively. Regardless of what you pick, at some point, Welliger will meet back up with you guys again. And gives you effectively a briefing on what is happening across the kingdom. All the while accompanied by a room off to the side, not too far away from where Llewellyn's area of work is at, where he effectively has a map not unlike the content map that you guys already have. Although this one was officially made and not in a basement. Not to say that the map isn't accurate that you guys have. It's probably one of the most accurate representations of Drangleic to date. But to give you an idea, he will, begin to note down a couple of things. And says, I'll try to make this brief. In no uncertain terms, we've received, shall we say, some concerning reports from citizens. The king has not given, shall we say, an official call on some of these events. But nevertheless, he has asked me to look into them. Or at the very least, to see how to handle them. All of these come from citizens concerned for the safety of our kingdom. And he begins to kind of place down these little pins on the map of Drangleic. And he will point at... you guys are gonna get ready for this. He says, the Duke of Seldora has noted that recently a grand robbery has taken place as part of his his treasury. not just that, but the people have noted that how should I put this? Set of unexpected incidents have taken place over the last couple of weeks besides just that. A surge, shall we say, of some, well, what the soldiers have referred to as local wildlife, but I have my suspicions about it. They claim that these creatures resemble gigantic arachnids that have began to appear in the area surrounding the region of Saldora.
Atlas
Oh,
smashes a fucking,
no.
like, hand onto the fucking table and kind of asks,
How large are they? And would you say that they have they're described as particularly armored with visceral exoskeletons? And what color have they been reported to be?
The reports have been a bit buried in their nature. I will chalk this up to the citizens being quite shaken by the event. But from what we have been informed, these things seem to be no larger than a large dog. And orange in coloration, it seems.
Atlas kind of seems to calm down a little bit, but just kind of says, says to the rest of the party as well, like, just kind of,
This may not be my target, admittedly, but it is still worth investigating. After all, the new strain of the swarm that I tracked down to this planetary sphere was something that I did not come across in my previous records.
He looks over. He looks very confused by all the terms that you just used, and says, "Experience with giant bugs, have you?"
kind of like says,
More than you know. There is perhaps a threat that I do not have proper evidence to back up my claims for, and therefore further investigation has to be conducted. But if you are ever to come across any reports of larger flying insects with black carapaces that seem to be able to multiply without any form of energy conservation or requiring nutrients.
I am not aware of the finer details of this incident. I am only half what I've been informed of. But
I am merely warning you of the description of the quarry that I have been dispatched to take care of.
duly noted. If there is anything like that, I will make sure to inform His Majesty of that. But, well, a strong gust of wind. He will say, "I'm afraid that isn't all. We have received a long-distant message, shall we say, from the coastal region towards the south of Drangleic, towards the southeast of Drangleic. A very small, remote coastal village known only as, No Man's Wharf. He looks at it, he points the pin in the map, basically, and he says some form of, how should I put this? What the citizens are referring to a large-scale kidnapping. Sadly, our presence of the Drangleic's army is a bit thin on that region. We don't have a easy way of reaching at the moment. And finally, he puts one more pin on the map, and he says, "This one goes a little bit beyond the official record, shall we say. I did say that some of these tasks may take you beyond the borders of Drangleic. There's rumors that have been plaguing the populace for the last couple of weeks. Some form of curse that seems to be plaguing the land to the east of the nation to the east. Specifically around the region known as Huntsman's Copse. We have no jurisdiction there, but the Queen is, particularly curious as to what these events entail. Now, as an halfway official, halfway unofficial arm of His Majesty, well, you may not have any direct influence in nations outside of Drangleic, but that doesn't mean that you cannot act on the behalf of the crown. Can we trust you to tackle either of these tasks?
Yes, you can. We'll handle it as carefully as we can.
Okay.
This is just like looks up at Valencia. Like still,
There's
you
a
can
deal
still
coming
see.
soon.
Yeah, I knew this was I knew the moment there was like, oh, we're gonna send you around on different problems around Drangleic and shit. I was like, oh boy, he's gonna send us straight to fucking Seldora, ain't he?
Shuba would ask, what was his name and his title?
Chancellor Wellinger.
Chancellor Wellinger. If we get new armors and weapons made here, is there a place like a training ground or arena where we can test them out?
There is a he actually thinks for a second. You can tell he was about to say something, but he catches himself. And he says, no, apologies. There is a guard station just outside the castle's walls. They have a training grounds there if you're interested in participating in that.
Shuba would say, you can't speak your mind around us.
I'm afraid I'm not at liberty of saying what I was originally going to say. That is a privilege that I'm afraid is only reserved to those actually within the ranks of the army of Drangleic. No offense.
None taken.
Suspicious.
Like, internally, some taken.
Internally, what now?
He will say.
Some.
Notably, he does not mention. I will say, like, out of character, just to clarify this. He notably does not mention the missing Drake from Dragon Seri. It seems this task has already been given and dispatched to the Dragon Riders. He will, however, look at all of you guys and says, "We don't know how long we have until these giants arrive at the doorstep of Drangleic. The quicker you can get this done, the better. But obviously, you're just one group, and this place are distinctly further apart from each other. I will await whatever news you may be able to bring." And with that, he has basically laid out the stage for you guys. Rights on Coastal Dora, Huntsman's Copse, and No Man's Wharf. Those are the 3 locations that he has received reports from, which vary in their, details, I guess. As a reminder, Bryson Cove is not just Signis stole from the fucking Duke. It is these weird ass spiders are showing up in the region. Huntsman's Copse is Signs of the Undead Curse that the Queen would like a report on. and No Man's Wharf is apparently a mass kidnapping that took place, some time ago. So, whichever one of these tasks you guys want to handle, in whatever order, well, you guys are free to tackle those at your leisure. But for now, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, when the team is kind of like out of earshot, Atlas would basically say to Signis and Valencia, like, I understand that there is something that there are pending matters that you two must attend to, but I do also want to insist that we check out those bugs.
Like, I'm pretty sure that the fucking what's it called? I'm pretty sure that, like, there's a part of the both of them that's like, we could just put this off and go to fucking No Man's Wharf. And then Atlas is like, oh yeah, no, we want to go up there. It's like, shit.
Two things. One, Gilbert would, after everything, walk up to Valencia and just says, I'm happy for you. You got recruited by your king again. I hope you made him proud.
Why, thank you. Today has been a good day.
And out of character, what outside of time stops us from doing one big loop-de-loop?
Nothing really. This is going to be the next part of the campaign, effectively.
Right, yes.
You guys are gonna be traveling across the land, fixing everybody's problems, and then
That's a new one.
I don't know what you mean by that, but I'll assume it's a compliment. So
It's a compliment. I'm just like saying, like, it's the, like, D&D thing to do.
yeah, effectively, I did say
It's a classic.
Yeah, I did say I wanted Dark Souls 2 to feel more like a traditional campaign in comparison to Dark Souls 1, which some of you weren't there for Dark Souls 1, but yeah, it was a lot more linear. Yeah, with that, I believe that is a good end for us to end the session for the time being.
Yes.
And you guys can decide what order you guys want to tackle this on. Obviously, if you guys also want next session to perhaps, like, just fuck around in the Drang Capital for like a day or so, you can do that as well.
Valencia definitely wants to visit her family.
I forget, Vorti, do you have the art for Valencia's dad, right?
Not the finished one. I don't think you ever passed me the finished one.
I never finished it. I just kind of made
damn.
a sketch.
So I mean,
Maybe
yeah. If you can,
what's it called?
Like, I have it somewhere. I'm pretty sure. I would need to look into my computer files. But like, if you want to, like, send that again, like, I can just use that.
I'll try to find it. Yeah.
Yeah, that in mind. Like I said, this is where we're going to end today's session for the time being. Before we leave off, however, thank you, all of you who are still watching the stream and have been watching throughout all of this. I appreciate the comments a lot throughout the session.
Yeah.
And, as always, like, shout outs to Sound Phenomenon for providing the background music that we use for the campaign. I personally really like the King's Passage, it's a song that I was playing during the throne room. I think that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And shout outs to the respective artists whose art I used for, the visuals for Drangleic and Drangleic Castle. And shout outs to my players as well for being wonderful. But
Atlas's
yes,
voice was different today because I have a sore throat.
that's fine. I realized I wasn't keeping Vendrick's voice consistent at first, but I think I managed to eventually nail it down.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, it's a new character. That's just how it be.
But hey, I hope, as always, I hope my players enjoyed the session, and I hope those of you who are watching enjoyed, listening on the session or watching the session. As always, we share what we like to do with people that hopefully like it too, and any comment, any interaction, we appreciate a lot. But with that, we do need to keep. We do need to go signing off for the time being. The stream glitched. Incredible. Amazing.
Truly, indeed.
Thank you. Well, there we go. I think I fixed it. I think. But yeah. Hopefully, see you all again on the next session of Dark Souls: Dirge of Drangleic. See y'all later.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Later.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Laters.